I was a badly injured assassin who was so useless. I planned to become a eunuch to serve by my master's side, but during the castration, my master rushed in and stopped it. Wait, I have something more important for you to do. He gave me a box of fertility pills and pressed me down with a kiss. Having a prince, I guess that's not impossible. When my master was attacked, I risked everything to block a strike for him. I coughed up blood everywhere and passed out in his arms. When I woke up, my martial arts were completely gone. I'd become useless, but I'm my master's assassin. Without martial arts or inner strength, how can I even live? I hid under the eaves picking flower petals. Die. Don't die. In my heart, I felt some resentment toward that assassin. Why didn't he just kill me with one strike? Then I wouldn't be stuck in this dilemma. When the petals ran out, the last one landed on D. I threw it away. Actually, I don't want to die. I can't bear to leave my master. My master is a good man. He saved me from burning to death and brought me to the imperial city. Back then, he wasn't emperor yet, just the crown prince. He brought me to someone with great martial arts skills to teach me, and told me that even though you're an assassin, your life is just as important. But without him, I would have died long ago. Obviously, my master's life is more important. I don't regret blocking that strike. I just don't know what to do now. Jew. His Majesty requests your presence for dinner. I got up, dusted off my clothes, and followed the eunuch who came to get me. Before I even entered, I could smell the delicious aroma. Ever since I lost my martial arts, I became idle staff in the palace, getting dragged by my master daily to test for poison. Standing at the doorway, I saw all my favorite dishes. Seeing me arrive, my master Chu Yaking smiled and called out, "Chu, come sit." I sat down properly and started testing the food, but my master wanted to start eating before I finished testing. I grabbed his wrist and mumbled, "Wait, I'm not done testing yet." Chu Yaking frowned slightly. "Testing what?" "Testing for poison." As soon as I said that, everyone else in the room dropped to their knees, and Chu Yaoking's face darkened. He pinched my face and laughed angrily. "You think I use you as a poison tester?" I slowly realized my master was getting angry. I quickly knelt down, chewing what was in my mouth. "Your Majesty, please calm down." He sighed and pulled me back up. His thumb wiped the corner of my lips, coming away glistening. It was osmanthus honey from the ice cream. He stuck out his tongue and licked it, smiling slightly. "The floor is cold. You just recovered from injury. Kneeling on the ground makes me worry." I sat dazed in the chair. Chu Yaoking stuffed chopsticks into my hands. "Eat." My ears turned red, and my cheeks felt hot. Why did my master lick the honey from my lips? That's so gross. I ate that meal feeling completely restless. My master glanced at me several times, finally serving me my favorite dish with a sigh. At night, my master insisted on holding me while sleeping. I lay stiffly on the bed, feeling constant warmth flowing from my master's body to mine. But my thoughts drifted far away. The palace doesn't support useless people. I need to find work quickly. Going out, I ran into the guard captain selecting guards. I watched it from afar, then saw him run over with a fawning smile. "Ju, I heard you're incredibly skilled. Could you help guide these guys?" Looking at those familiar weapons, I felt tempted and actually walked over. Since recovering, I haven't touched these things. "This is Ju, who blocked a strike for His Majesty just days ago. Come give everyone some guidance." The guards cheered. Feeling embarrassed, I gripped a large sword and applied force. A clang! It dropped to the ground. My right hand shook uncontrollably. I stared at this hand in shock. I couldn't use any strength at all. The guard captain's face went white, cold sweat instantly streaming down. Ju, but my eyes reddened. Sword techniques, couldn't perform them. Bow, couldn't draw it. Meteor hammer, couldn't even lift it. Even poison needles shot out weakly and dropped halfway to the ground. My heart grew heavier and my expression colder. I knew I'd lost my martial arts and become useless. But I never expected the reality to be so hard to accept. The guards whispered among themselves. My ears buzzed. The guard captain said something panicked in my ear that I couldn't hear clearly. I just hung my head and left, kicking a small stone along the way. Yesterday I thought I could work as a guard and serve my master. Looks like I overestimated myself. My master is nice to me now because I just saved him. Once he realizes I'm useless, he'll get sick of me. When that time comes, a useless person like me will have nowhere to stand. You have to fight for your own survival. In the distance, I saw my master's personal eunuch running over. "Ju, where did you go? His Majesty came back from court and didn't see you. He's furious. You should go quickly." "Eunuch," I grabbed at him. "What's your monthly salary? What kind of work do you do daily?" My master's eyes were bloodshot, his whole body trembling. When he saw me, he yanked me hard into his arms. His arms gripped me tightly, like he wanted to merge me into his body. I obediently nestled in his embrace, my hands soothingly patting his back. After my last injury, when I lost so much blood, my master seems traumatized. He buried his face in my neck, even his voice shaking. "Ju, don't wander off, okay? I'm scared, Okay. Then promise me you'll always stay in my sight." I nodded. My master cupped my face and kissed me. "Good boy, Ju." My breathing stopped. My master kissed me. I stared blankly at my master. Chu Yaoking nuzzled my nose with his warm breath covering my face as he said softly, "Silly. Let's eat." I sat dazed at the table. It was covered with all my favorite foods, but I felt the spot where he kissed me constantly burning. making my whole body hot. I kept telling myself that my master kissing me has nothing to do with whether he likes me or not. Being a eunuch really is the best choice. My master said he wants to see me all the time. I saw his personal eunuch can do that. And even attend court. No sooner said than done. In the afternoon, while my master was discussing politics with ministers, I walked to the eunuch castration room. There was a group about to go in. I stood at the very back. When it was my turn, the head eunuch looked me over, frowned, and said, "Why are you so old?" Is 19 really that old? I stared at him wide-eyed. He waved his hand. Fine, go in. The palace is short-staffed lately. I was led to a sealed room. Dry and warm, like a silkworm chamber. Pants removed, eyes blindfolded with cloth, lying flat on the bed, hands and feet tied with thick rope, body arranged in a spread. Eagle position. A cloth covered my body. Without sight, my hearing became exceptionally sharp. I heard the crackling of fire from the brazier at my feet. Someone was heating a knife over the flames. I panicked a little, but I just clenched my fingers. 朕很喜欢兄来 be able to stay by my master's side forever. 朕很喜欢 with a proper position. In my confusion and helplessness. 朕很喜欢. I heard the knife clatter to the ground, and everyone shouting, "Long live his majesty." I couldn't see anything. 朕很喜欢 only turned my head toward the sound, then felt someone stroke my face. 朕很喜欢 it's beautiful. I like it very much. Don't get rid of it. Okay. I heard my master's hoarse voice. Then felt someone gently touch me there with their hand. I shrank back 所老的 and said dry了, but I'm useless now. I don't know what right I have to stay by my master's side. Can't wield the blade. Can't lift the sword. Can't even use the hidden weapons. I'm really useless. My voice was calm, but my body shook uncontrollably. Tears soaking the cloth. When I was young and wandering during heavy snowfall, and leaned against walls watching snowflakes sit. I'd been burning with fever for 3 days. I thought this was my last view, but a face appeared in my vision. It was an extremely beautiful face. The noble crown prince, in fine robes. He took off his cloak and covered me with it. Brought me to his mansion. I always practiced martial arts desperately, just to serve my master. Now seeing him constantly makes me even greedier. I want to stay by his side forever, and not be abandoned. Chu Yaoqing took off his outer robe and wrapped me like when I was small. He untied the ropes on my hands and legs, and removed the cloth from my eyes. I blinked at him. He picked me up and kissed my lips. Chu isn't useless. I have something more important for you to do. He carried me all the way to the bedroom, pressed me onto the bed and kissed me. I tilted my neck back, my pale skin flushed red. Master, the important thing you mentioned is... He grabbed me and kneaded me in his palm. I'd already reacted when he kissed me. Too embarrassed to look at him, I grew hotter and hotter. Chu is so hot. You like when I do this to you, don't you? I blushed to my ears but still asked, Master, what's this important thing? Of course it's this. He took my hand and slowly guided it downward. My hand shook so much I could barely hold on. Your Majesty, I'm a man. He kissed my ear. I know. The important thing I want to tell you is... Chu Yaoqing gently bit my earlobe. The hot breath made my head foggy and my body tremble lightly. What is it? Chu Yaoqing's fingers slid down my abs and gripped my thigh. In the strange turbulence, Chu Yaoqing said, Chu, if you really need a title to stay by my side, then be my empress and bear me a prince. Empress? White light flashed in my mind. Chu Yaoqing chuckled deeply. Chu likes that title, my empress. When I woke up, my master wasn't in the room. Seeing me open my eyes, the little eunuch who always follows me hurried over. Chu, shall I bring food? I struggled to sit up and saw a box by the pillow. The box had intricate patterns. What's this? His Majesty said it's fertility pills for you. I stared blankly at the box. He was serious about wanting me to bear children. Just as I was about to ask more, Chu Yaoqing strode in. Chu! He took off his dragon robe and sat on the bed to hold me, cursing in my ear. They're driving me crazy, bunch of idiots. Sooner or later I'll kill them all. I just quietly let him hold me, gripping the box tightly. After a while, as if he'd finally had enough of holding me, he let go. Is this the important thing your Majesty wanted me to do? Chu Yaoqing kissed my lips. Chu, bear me a child. These are fertility pills. Men can bear children after taking them. Will you bear me a child? I opened the box, picked up the fertility pill, and swallowed it. Yes, of course I will. I'm finally not useless anymore. I'll bear His Majesty a good child. Having babies is serious business. I pestered Chu Yaoqing nightly to do that thing. I wore Chu Yaoqing out completely. I lay dazed on the bed, pupils unfocused. He pinched my face. Chu, you're too gullible. Yan Fei Hong, can you let me rest for a bit? I turned to look at him, my face flushed red, but he leaned down and kissed me hard on the lips. Ju, I'm not tired. I can go again. When I sleep, I put a pillow under my butt. But the doctor said it makes conception easier. Sure enough, I soon started having morning sickness. The doctor also said I was pregnant. I was so happy I couldn't sleep. I wanted to tell Chu Yaoqing the good news right away. My master would be so happy. From the moment I woke up, I sat on the edge of bed, didn't even eat breakfast. Just waiting, checking the door, every few minutes, asking around. Why is morning court taking so long today? My master finally came back. I flew into his arms. Master, the doctor says I'm pregnant. Chu Yaoqing froze for a moment, turned to look at me. His expression was complicated, not like he was happy. My heart skipped a beat. I climbed down from his embrace. Master, aren't you happy? No, he said with a slight smile. I'm very happy. So happy I don't know what to do. Really, my lips curved up again. My master is happy. That's wonderful. I'm finally not useless anymore. My Chu did great. He held me in his arms and kissed me. Chu, now that you're pregnant, don't go running around anymore. The first 3 months are crucial. You must take good care of yourself. Okay, I agreed happily. But while I didn't go out, someone came looking for me. After resting peacefully for half a month, I was bored out of my mind. While secretly reading the picture books the leader gave me, I suddenly heard that an aunt from Empress Dowager's side came to summon me. She said the Empress Dowager wanted to see me. Why does the Empress Dowager want to see me? I was confused. That aunt looked at me sideways and kept urging me along. A young eunuch tried to intervene. I don't know what business the Empress Dowager has with Master Ju. Perhaps we should wait until His Majesty returns. Before he could finish, that aunt slapped him. How dare you disobey the Empress Dowager's orders? Drag him out and beat him to death. I pulled him behind me. I'll go. Don't give him trouble. After I bowed to the Empress Dowager, she didn't let me get up for a long time. Instead, she looked at my face and clicked her tongue. This face is prettier than a woman's. No wonder His Majesty is so bewitched by you. I heard you even took fertility pills for him. I've never heard of men being able to bear children. You're probably going to give birth to some monster. I covered my belly, frowning at her. He's not a monster. Let me see what kind of thing you're growing in that belly of yours. Someone, call the doctor. My knees hurt from kneeling. The doctor came quickly and knelt beside me. I heard the Empress Dowager say, check him. See if he's really pregnant. I want to see this curiosity for myself. The doctor placed his hand on my wrist. Then Chu Yaoqing walked in from outside with a beautiful woman beside him. She immediately clung to the Empress Dowager's side, calling her aunt. It was Chu Yaoqing's cousin who grew up with him. I knew this cousin. She'd always acted like the crown prince's consort, but my master had already ascended the throne and still hadn't married her. Now she came with my master. Was he going to make her an imperial consort? So his promise to make me empress was just a lie. His Majesty has arrived, perfect timing. Sit there and watch. I glanced at Chu Yaoqing. Something was churning in his eyes that I couldn't understand. The doctor beside me suddenly prostrated himself on the ground. Your Majesty, Emperor, I detect no signs of pregnancy whatsoever in this young master. I was stunned. My face went white instantly. I muttered, how can there be nothing? How is that possible? I shoved my wrist into the doctor's hands, pleading. Check again. The doctor's face went pale with fright and he kept backing away. I reached out to grab him, but couldn't even touch his sleeve. He asked me, is this young master originally from Jiangjiao? I nodded. That explains it. The doctor who examined him was also from Jiangjiao. They must have conspired together. Please investigate, Your Majesty. The Empress Dowager on her throne laughed twice. I said, how could a man get pregnant? What a ridiculous joke. Your Majesty, he deceived you? Yes, Your Majesty. He's using fake pregnancy to win your favor and prevent you from choosing consorts. His intentions are wicked. Fake pregnancy. I'm not faking pregnancy. My eyes widened as tears streamed down my face. Chu Yaoqing approached and pulled me up. I will consider the matter of choosing consorts carefully. I'll handle my own people myself. No need to trouble Mother. Your Majesty, Chu Yaoqing's cousin called out coquettishly from behind. Chu Yaoqing dragged me out the door. I gripped his hand tightly as he led me. Master, I don't know what happened. Let's go back and keep trying. I can get pregnant. We'll turn the fake pregnancy into real pregnancy. Chu, you shouldn't have lied to me about this. I didn't. Master, trust me. My tears splattered on his dragon robe. Chu Yaoqing didn't believe me. He confined me to my quarters. He wouldn't let me go anywhere and had the leader watch my room every night. Even without the leader, I'd lost all my martial arts skills and couldn't escape anyway. I sat on the imperial couch, unable to focus on even my storybooks. The leader kept throwing sunflower seed shells at my head. I glared at him angrily. The leader jumped down and sat beside me, eating the food on the table. You're so devoted to your master. I heard he's choosing consorts lately. It's all your fault. Now I can't go watch the excitement. I got a little angry and snatched the food from his hands. If you want to go watch, then go. 开玩笑的啊. I won't go, I won't. Good Jew, I was just joking. Since that day, Chu Yaoqing never set foot in my room again. All those past moments felt like a dream. I couldn't eat well or sleep well. Lately when I fall asleep, I feel like something's pressing down on me, and my neck feels itchy. In the morning, there are red marks all over my neck. Are there bugs in the Imperial Palace bedchambers too? The leader looked at my neck like he wanted to say something but held back. Soon the selection ended. Chu Yaoqing took many consorts into the palace. When I heard he visited several of them in one night, I crouched by the tree at my door and threw up everything I'd eaten for dinner. But the leader crouches beside me, pinching his nose. Do you want to leave this place? He said I had no status in the palace and would soon become a target for those favored consorts. I'd die without a burial place. Staying here any longer really meant no way out. Strangely, when I learned I'd become useless, of no value to my master, I did think about dying. I even went to scout out the lotus pond in the back garden. But now, I actually wanted to live. to experience the life outside the palace that the leader described. Even a cornered rabbit will bite. Before leaving, I shouted into the empty palace. I'm leaving. Let that dog emperor regret. The leader clapped his hand over my mouth, his face pale as a sheet. My dear ancestor, you can't say things like that. I pursed my lips, swallowing the bitterness in my heart. My eyes stung with tears. King, I'm really leaving. It's because you don't trust me. I won't have your children anymore. The carriage bumped along the road. I hung over the side, nearly throwing up bile. After getting off the carriage, my legs were so weak I sat on the ground. The leader jumped down carrying my bundle. How's this? This little courtyard. I personally picked it out for you. I weakly kicked his foot. You've got quite a bit of money. Of course I do. Just settle in peacefully. I made my home in this little courtyard, but I might have been sick. I threw up everything I ate and was always thirsty. Sometimes I could sleep all day. A neighbor often came by and brought me food. This day when he couldn't wake me up, he rushed through my door in panic. He put the peach blossom pastries on the table, then pulled back the covers to check my pulse. All his commotion woke me up. I opened my eyes to see Chushiki, staring at me with wonder in his eyes. You're pregnant. Pregnant? I sat up abruptly. Chushiki was my neighbor. He'd worked at a medical clinic for a while and learned some basics, though not very accurately. He ran off at full speed, calling back as he ran. I'll go find you a proper doctor right away. I slowly placed my hand on my belly, unable to believe it. Am I really pregnant with my master's child? The doctor came quickly. He checked my pulse and prescribed medicine to prevent miscarriage. Now I wasn't in the imperial palace with people scheming against me. See, I was truly pregnant. I could hardly believe it. That afternoon, Chushiki brought over an adorable child. I looked at him in surprise. I had no idea you had a child. How come I've never seen your wife? Chushiki's ears turned red. I gave birth to this child. He told me he'd accidentally eaten fertility pills. Those pills let men grow birthos and give birth just like women. He told me not to be afraid. Looking at the babbling child in his arms, I really wasn't afraid anymore. I had no family or friends. In my earliest memories, I was an orphan. If I could give birth to a child, connected by blood, that would be heaven's mercy to me. While shopping for baby clothes, Chushiki brought news that the current emperor was severely injured and missing. The 8th prince stationed outside had brought 50,000 soldiers to surround the city, planning to rebel. The 8th prince was the Empress Dowager's biological son. She'd already opened the palace gates for him. Chushiki whispered his guess that the current emperor might already be. He made a cutting gesture across his throat. My heart sank. The bowl on the table shattered. Chushiki looked at me nervously. I forced a smile. Shiki, I want to rest now. But I lay in bed tossing and turning, unable to sleep. The leader hadn't come by in a long time. What was the situation in the palace now? I had no way of knowing. The lamp in my room flickered and went out. A dark figure climbed through the window. Besides heavy footsteps, there was the smell of blood. Who's there? The person suddenly jumped onto my bed, pressed down on me, and covered my mouth. A familiar scent hit me. My whole body trembled. The moment he pounced on me, my heart recognized him. It was King. When the sounds outside disappeared, I pushed him away without hesitation and lit the lamp. Chuji sat leaning against the wall. He lifted his eyelids to look at me. The clothes on his chest bloomed with blood stains. My heart clenched. He spoke. Who are you? If you save my life, I'll repay you well. With tears in my eyes, I punched him in the forehead. Ow. King winced in pain. Amnesia. Remember now? You still dare pretend to have amnesia with me? King held his forehead, grimacing at me. Why did you hit me? I was shocked. You really don't remember anything. King nodded. I smelled the heavy scent of blood on him. My heart rose to my throat. When it was quiet outside, I snuck over to the neighboring courtyard to find Chushiki and had him get a doctor to treat King. During treatment, Chushiki held his child and stayed far away. King stared at me. As the doctor applied medicine and stitched him up, he didn't even frown. He asked me, I find you strangely familiar. What's our relationship? I was about to speak when the doctor treating him interrupted. What relationship could it be? You're this young master's husband. He's carrying your child. You must take good care of him. A joy burst in King's eyes. No wonder I felt happy seeing you. So you're my wife. Those words left me stunned. My master said seeing me made him happy, and called me his wife. For a moment, I didn't know how to react, so I silently went along with it. King wore the most ordinary clothes, cooking for me with his own hands. I didn't force him. He did everything willingly. The morning sickness was brutal. I was throwing up constantly. He was running around frantically beside me, really acting like a father. I couldn't help but want to depend on him. What did my master do wrong? It's my fault for being too trusting. That's how I got set up and framed, and put my master in a tough spot. My master even got seriously injured. Now he's treating me incredibly well. Mother's betrayal. Brothers killing each other. Looking at my master with amnesia, I wanted to kill everyone who hurt him. But I couldn't do anything now. I kept King bundled up tight every day, desperately hoping the leader would come. Now we're surrounded on all sides. I couldn't even get a message out. My nerves were wound tight, like a stretched bowstring. King noticed and pestered me for intimacy at night. I grabbed his hair and frowned at him. In the darkness, his eyes were shining black. My fingers trembled. For a moment, I felt like he wasn't really suffering from amnesia. He was still that master with power over life and death. I let go. He leaned down and kissed my lips. Then he undid my clothes. He kissed his way down and stopped at my belly. His warm breath was there. I was afraid he'd hurt the baby. I pushed his face away. The next instant, he took me in his mouth. I gasped and my eyes went wide. This was my master. If he got his memory back, he'd probably slice me to pieces. I pushed his head, but my body was losing control. Chu Yaoqing wiped his lips clean and kissed my ear. Sleep. Days of exhaustion took over. I slept until noon. When I went out, Chu Shiki, with his husband and Jikanchun Queen Yaoqing come and I was afraid Chu Yaoqing's identity would be exposed, so I hurried over. Chu Yaoqing said he was thanking them for helping him find a doctor. I looked at them suspiciously. Chu Shiki's husband looked familiar, like a prince. From that day on, Chu Yaoqing was obviously busier, but he'd be by my side when I woke up. He spent as much time with me as possible, accommodating me, gentle and thoughtful, letting me boss him around. But I clearly knew he'd recovered his memory. Or maybe he was faking it from the start. This was his base outside the palace, while they'd already planned to strike back at the capital tomorrow. At night, Chu Yaoqing held me while sleeping. I wondered how he'd say goodbye to me. But there was no movement for a while. Tears rolled down from the corners of my eyes. Chu Yaoqing sighed, opened his eyes, and wiped my tears. Stay here, and don't go anywhere. Chu Shiki is a princess. He'll stay here with you. Chu Yaoqing pinched my face. But don't get too close to him. I'll get jealous. I never touched any of the women the Empress Dowager sent me. You're the only one in my heart. When I return, I'm going to make you my empress. And make the child in your belly the crown prince. Chu Yaoqing left. Good news kept coming from the capital. The 7th prince was killed. The rebels were captured. The Empress Dowager committed suicide. The throne was back in Chu Yaoqing's hands. He exhausted himself in court during the day. At night he'd come to my little courtyard and hold me close. His warm body wrapped around me. Heat constantly flowed through the thin fabric. He said the concubines he chose for his harem were all daughters of corrupt officials. Now that they were all cleaned out, the harem was empty, just waiting for me to fill it. My heart was sweet, but I didn't respond to him. Chu Yaoqing kissed my neck and buried his head there. I was worried Chu was mad at me. I was mad at first. But then he'd sneak into my bed every night while I was sleeping and kiss me secretly, so I wasn't that mad anymore. Even though I lost my martial arts, my senses were still sharp. Chu Yaoqing covered my neck with hickeys every night. I told the leader they were bug bites. I didn't dare get mad at my master. Don't be afraid, Chu Yaoqing said. If I do anything wrong, you have to tell me. I'll change. Chu Yaoqing kept putting off bringing me back to the palace. When he came again, I couldn't help but ask him. I was kind of afraid someone would steal him away. I was also afraid he was lying to me. Chu Yaoqing said there was still one faction that wasn't completely eliminated. Chu Yaoqing was waiting. I didn't know what he was waiting for. Only when I was almost asleep, I'd hear him muttering in my ear. Why haven't they shown up yet? Can it only be triggered when I'm with Chu? Soon, a group of assassins came to the courtyard. Chu Yaoqing's expression changed. In that moment, I knew what he'd been waiting for. He protected me tightly behind him, his fingers trembling. He told the leader to take me away. For some reason, my heart jumped to my throat too. I didn't want to leave. Chu Yaoqing me up with a chop to the neck. The leader carried me and flew away. In my dream, blood was everywhere. Fire consumed the palace. The leader and I protected Chu Yaoqing as we ran around. We were surrounded by masked men in the back garden. I'd lost my martial arts and was wearing guards' clothing. The leader fought them with his men, while I grabbed Chu Yaoqing and ran. We ran to the secret passage in the palace. If the emperor got through this passage, he could meet up with the prince outside. But people came out of the passage too. They had special symbols on their wrists. I turned and blocked the entrance with my body. I blocked the passage opening with everything I had. I let them stab their swords into my body. Our blood kept flowing from my lips as I screamed desperately, "Master, go!" I jerked awake to see the leader's worried eyes. I was reborn. In my past life, it was these people who wanted Chu Yaoqing dead. They were skilled fighters and numerous. Chu Yaoqing was probably in grave danger. I turned and ran back. The leader grabbed my hand. If Master dies, how can I live? Well, I ran over. I saw that person thrust a sword at Chu Yaoqing. "Master!" I threw myself at him. Chu Yaoqing's pupils contracted. He pulled me into his arms. A cold flash, no pain. Warm blood splashed on my face. The leader slashed that person's throat with his sword. Chu Yaoqing held me tightly. He wiped my cheek with his thumb. "It's okay, Chu. It's okay." But his body was still shaking as he held me. Those people were wiped out completely. After this incident, Chu Yaoqing brought me to the capital. My belly was round now. The prince was mischievous. Sometimes he'd keep me awake at night. Chu Yaoqing would read him books about governing the country. More often, he'd tell him about me, saying I was cute. Turns out my master had been watching me for a long time, but my past life wasn't like this at all. In my past life, after I lost my martial arts, Chu Yaoqing gave me a lot of rewards. I also lost my identity as an assassin. I begged the leader. He used money and connections to make me Chu Yaoqing's personal guard. But he always treated me the same as everyone else. Later, I died for him. When I gave birth, Chu Yaking stayed by my bed. He gripped my hand tightly.
It's cold.
I took the fertility pill at 19. My body wasn't ready. The doctor was sweating bullets and finally said, "Your Majesty, we can only do a C-section." No. Chu Yaoking's voice was shaking. "If we wait longer, the young master will be in danger." "Master, go ahead. I want to see our child." Chu Yaking cried. I'd never seen him cry. He choked out, "I don't want to see you bleed anymore." In that instant, something flashed through my mind. Was Chu Yaking also reborn? My heart melted completely. I reached out to wipe his tears. "Master, don't be scared. I'll be fine." The anesthesia kicked in and I lost consciousness. When I woke up, 3 days had passed. Chu Yaking sat by the bed with stubble, looking haggard, like he'd lost his wife. I struggled to move my finger and grabbed his hand. Chu Yaking's eyes moved, tears rolling down. "Jiu." I was terrified. I was wrong. I shouldn't have made you have a baby. When I was reborn, I swore I'd never let you bleed a single drop again. I'm sorry. Enough. I covered his mouth. "Bring the little prince over so I can see him." I served the Empress Dowager like a mother, but she never saw me as her son. She conspired with the 9th prince to rebel. After surrounding the capital, she set fire to cut off my escape. She turned the generals against me. My elite troops were hunted down and slaughtered. Only 5 or 6 people were left. 1 guard, a few assassins. I was ready to fight to the death, but that little guard grabbed me and ran. He said, "Keep the mountain green. Don't worry about firewood." To's eyes looked familiar, like the assassin who blocked that attack from me before. He dragged me all the way to the back garden and into the secret passage. Halfway there, I realized he had no martial arts at all. My guards are all carefully selected, but he was all show. Couldn't dodge weapons, even blocked swords with his body. In the end, he blocked the passage entrance. Thousands of swords pierced his body. Blood pooled at his feet. He shouted, "Master, go!" I didn't go. I took out my sword and charged at them. In the end, I died alongside him. When I opened my eyes again, I saw him throwing himself on top of me. He took a blow to the back. Blood sprayed from his mouth. His head fell on my shoulder. His breathing was so weak it was almost gone. "Protect the emperor." The eunuch's voice rang in my ears. The guard stabbed the assassin to death. The person on me was slowly sliding down. I held his body tight. Still warm. "Get the doctor! Get the doctor now!" I was reborn. That little assassin didn't die. Like in my past life, he lost his martial arts. I don't know how he became my guard again. But he died for me twice. There might be a third time. I was scared. I was scared of seeing him covered in blood again. Assassins only have code names, not even real names. I gave him the name Jiu. With my surname, I kept him by my side to recover. The more I got to know him, the more adorable I found him. He was like a cold-faced cute little rabbit. Clueless, but very sweet. No scheming at all, just pure loyalty. I fell for this little rabbit. But he was depressed about losing his martial arts. I even wanted to become a eunuch to stay by my side, just to be someone useful to me. Recently, the male princess had a baby for the prince. Since that's the case,